All right, great. Looks like we're right on time. Thank you everyone for showing up, and we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a lot of material to get through. We're going to talk about how to trade complex option spreads in just 1 minute. So we're not going to pick stocks. We have something better for you, something unique. We're also going to jump into a little live demonstration of automated futures trading. So with that said, let's talk about speculation. Remember, we are like Duke and Duke and Valentine, learning to trade, and prices move up and down. And we're trying to make money as that happens. But of course, if you want to make money, there's always risk. So do take a look at the risk disclosure. It is important. I'll give you just a moment. And it looks like you have a couple comments coming in the chat box. Yes, it is being recorded. I believe that was answered. And I believe I've got good audio. So if everyone can hear me, just double check, but I think I've confirmed that. And back to the risk disclosure, remember that all funds committed should be risk capital, and past performance is no guarantee of future results. Okay, and with that said, our goal today, we'll look at technology that experts are using, something you've never seen before, how to diversify, and we can do this in bull, bear, and even sideways markets. So you want to be like this robot here with everything all handled immediately in a split second. You don't want to be struggling like this poor trader here, worrying about the correct order, the size, the price, and all that nonsense. So we have two new solutions. One is our algo-driven systems trading. We're going to show you how to automate trading, auto trade, and you can activate and deactivate in one click. And then, of course, we're going to look at our options trading technology with pre-selected option spreads, complicated, made simple, and also our integrated trade alerts with automated risk and profit control. So do stick around. We're going to use our time wisely. We do have a lot of material, but I promise we're going to get through it, and I think you'll enjoy it along the way. And we're going to have something special for you at the end, an offer worth over $32,000. Yes, that is correct, but we can even show you how to get that not only at an enormous discount, but for free. So everyone's favorite word is free. And if you like what you see, we're going to show you how to take action and get involved. So remember, markets are always correct. We aren't. Remember this quote here. It can be expensive trying to convince the markets that you are right. That's from a system trading pioneer, Ed Sequoia, out of the book Market Wizards. There's also a follow-up to that book. I'd highly recommend it. So don't fight the tape. That's a ticker tape if you're not familiar with that. A bit antiquated now, of course, from 100 years back. But you want to trade the environment that the market offers you. That's the whole idea. Don't fight the tape. You don't want to end up like this person here, still thinking that the market was wrong all the way 6 feet under. And so with that said, a little bit about us, three trading secrets, algo trading, I'll have a live demonstration of the trading robots, we call them, and then options trading with algorithms, and then how you can get started with that special offer, and then of course an FAQ. So a little bit about us, we are AltaVest since 1997. That's a long time, folks. 1997 in the trading community is like, I don't know, a couple hundred years in any other business. So we're a brokerage firm, and all of our staff have at least 25, close to 30 years experience. Here we are on the trading floor, trading options, having traded millions and millions of options. We're regulated, of course. We're located in California, and we've traded, like I said, millions of futures and options contracts over the years. And so with that experience, we think you don't need to figure it out by yourself. We think you should be able to use our experience. Don't want to be like the loner here in the basement, looking at the stock ticker there, trying to figure out the price movement in stocks and that sort of thing. So what we're going to show you is built with decades of basically experience. So the input from industry veterans. And then who am I? I'll get through this real quickly here, but at least you should know who I am. I'm Erik Gebhard, 29 years, almost 30 years, co-founder of AltaVest. I've been licensed since 1991. I have my business degree from the University of Southern California. And I got started Back in school, we're looking at a class in investments, and that's my textbook there, studying futures and options, forward markets, spot markets, you name it. Those are my notes. And yes, I did enjoy the class, so I was paying attention for once. And you can see here at the time, the oil fields in Kuwait were burning, crude oil and gold prices were jumping. And so that's the background in which we were studying futures and options. And I thought it was really quite fascinating. And after school, I was involved in the securities industry with my licenses there. But I did find futures and options just a bit more intriguing. And so that is essentially where I ended up. Uh, Back in futures and options. This is kind of funny. I've showed this once, so this is the second time I'm showing this. Check this out. Here, yours truly right there. So that was one of the brokerage firms I worked at way back when in the mid 90s. So I was working on their Tech Notes newsletter and coming up with trade recommendations and analysis, so on and so forth. So that's kind of funny. You get to see me way back when. And with that said, I'll go ahead and shut off the webcam. Done with the introductions, and that way you have more screen space, really, more real estate. Okay, trading secrets. Everyone's a day trader. This is especially this year. But you know what? It's not that easy, folks. And if you're doing it successfully, more power to you. But you know, the phrase "everyone's a genius in a bull market." Let's remember that. Here's a person who traded people for 14 5-year period of time. He said only 14 of the 300 or 400 people became consistent, profitable traders. So 3.5 to 4.5% success rate. Here's another study within the Journal of Financial Markets. And turns out that less than 1% of the day trader population is able to predictably and reliably earn positive abnormal returns. So it's a difficult thing to do, and that's why we don't do it. So we're not going to even talk about day trading. We have a different approach. And remember, if you're day trading, especially day trading, you need precision. And kind of sometimes goes without saying, on the other hand, we get reminded that you have to do all this correctly. Pick the market, the direction, the strategy, and apply it at the right time and price, and then you have to exit. Manage that risk and reward. So there's a lot that has to go right when you're doing a trade, especially a fast, or you could say a fast turnaround on a trade. So number 3, emotions that become our own worst enemy. Hope, fear, greed, anxiety. How many of you have felt all those during a trade? I think we probably all have, probably every day. And I know I do, even after all these years. And you want to try to mitigate that. But we have bad wiring. We have a built-in bias to make poor investment decisions. We chase past performance, we sell the lows, and we buy the highs. And that's according to Mark Lindheim, and I totally agree with that assessment. And here's a comment I put in here. Your brain is killing your return. So we become our own worst enemy. And that's because we have essentially 3 biases. Motley Fool points out we have a confirmation bias, an anchoring bias, and a recency bias. Those are all working against us. So you want to really fade your emotions is really what it comes down to. Look at this guy here, good cartoon from Hedgeye. You see all the headlines here, everything terrible going on economically, and he thinks, well, my stocks are doing great. What else do I need to know? And I guess for a while that does work. You can put blinders on, but let's see if we can do better than that. So let's jump in here. We're going to jump into the demo in just a second. Algorithms, no emotions, dominating the stock market. 80% of the stock market with machines causing sharp drops and rallies. Large institutional firms commanding basically the authority in the marketplace. Now, how would you diversify among global markets? Well, let me point out something here. I'm going to show you this in the demo. Here's a graph of the VIX and the S&P 500 back in March. As you know, the S&P dropped about 30%. NASDAQ was even a little more than that. And here's the VIX, or the fear index, and essentially it's a measure of exposure and interest in put options on the CBOE. But meanwhile, here's a trading system, and it's one of many we have access to, and I'm going to show you. But here's the month of March for this trading system. Look at that. Just tremendous performance. You can see day by day, some big wins, some losses, some wins, losses along the way, but by the end of the month, they had a very, very profitable month, and that was during the month of March. So that's what we like. We like things that don't necessarily, have a positive correlation to what's happening with traditional assets, or in this case, the stock market. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. We like that non-correlation and absolute return. And we're in the middle of a commodity super cycle right now. Here's the CRB index. Commodities have been moving higher of late in the last half of the year in particular. And why is that? Well, the dollar has been slumping dramatically, and we're getting a bit of a counter trend rally today, but even so, stocks are kind of hanging on, you could say, not really doing a whole lot as we speak today. So we're going to look at that a little bit more. Bloomberg says robots are outwitting humans on investments. I think we can agree that that's probably happening. If computers can beat a chess player, then they're probably better traders. So that's called revolutionary trading. Here you can see from, what is that? Probably Cro-Magnon man to the robot. So this is what it used to look like not too long ago, folks. I took this grainy video on the trading floor. Looked chaotic, but actually it's not. It's very efficient and very effective. But as you know, it's not like that any longer. This is what it looks like now. This is your competition. They run automatically with no emotion, built-in risk control, sort of like the Terminator. I had a thing in here I've done before, but I won't I won't go into that about the Terminator coming to get your account. But remember, algo systems, you want to use them to compete. So here we have a solution for you, automated systems trading, user-friendly for novice or advanced. You can filter for any parameter you'd like. You can use it in just minutes a day, automate your risk controls, your profit controls. Those are all taken care of. All you do is flip the switch on and walk away. And then so we'll go through this demo quickly, and then we'll jump into the options demo as well. And remember, the markets can move up and down, and the computers don't care. They can sink their teeth into a bull or a bear move. Doesn't matter. So we're going to jump into that live demo here of AV systems, automated systems trading. So let's go ahead and switch over to that. Just one moment here. And keep your comments and questions coming. I'll get to them as we move along. So I appreciate all the feedback. In fact, without the feedback, I don't really know always exactly where to go with it, but we'll do our best here. Okay, so you are now looking at the dashboard for AV systems. And let me explain this. We'll break it down. We'll make it simple. This is probably something you didn't even know existed. So we're going to go through this step by step. We'll explore some systems, then we'll pick one that we like and subscribe to it, and then we'll learn how to activate it within our account, and then we'll monitor the performance. So we'll just go through these 4 steps here, and that will sort of really answer all the questions as we move along. You'll notice right away you can enter in the name of any particular market, and you can see all the different, in this case, silver systems available. There's 51. Or you're looking at S&P 500. These are the S&P, well, actually, depending on how you type in the system, the name. So you can see here, there's 147. There's NASDAQ. There's basically every major commodity. There's crude oil. So I won't go on and on with that. Just to point out, you can, of course, filter that way. But here's what you want to do. First thing you want to do is look at this table and see all these headlines or headings here. You can customize how that looks. You can delete any of these headings if, for example, you're not interested in some of these, and substitute something else, whatever it might be. And now you'll see that table is custom the way you want it, and it stays that way every time you come back until you reset it. You can also use a sort in ascending or descending order just by clicking on any of those headings. So you'll see some of these systems here have some enormous numbers, annualized return on investment over 400% here on some of these systems. Required capital amounts, you can filter ascending, descending, whatever it might be. And I should also point out there are two types of systems. There's intraday and swing trading systems available. All right, let me go ahead and go back to the default setting on the table. So just letting you know that you can customize what you see. And now here's the real key. How do you really explore? Well, this is what you can do. There are filters. There are the default quick filters right here. For example, if you're looking at this one, how about systems that have been tracked for more than a year and they're profitable since being tracked? So now you have 530 systems to look through. Now, if you want to edit that in any way you can, you could clear that filter. And now here's a really powerful tool, the advanced filter. So this is a really, really powerful tool. Look at all the different parameters that you can filter for. So you can really, really get very granular and end up with just a small handful of systems that meet all your criteria. Let's put a start date of 2018 as one of our filters. So now you have 485, and you can see the filters right here. And if you wanted to change it and modify that date, you could just by doing that. And maybe we'll add another filter. Annualized return on investment. Just going to make up something here. Now you have 252 that meet, excuse me here, that meet these two filters here, the starting date and the annualized return on investment. So, and beyond that, how about one more? How about, because I don't want to waste time going too deep into this, there's no need to do that. How about intraday systems? So 115. So now you have 115 to look through and filter for and review. But of course, you'd want to go probably even more granular. You'd want to look at your worst drawdown. For example, you might want to look at your perhaps the cost of the license or suggested capital. Let's look at suggested capital. And I'll explain this is an important one here. Perhaps, let's see how we end up here. $50,000, $5,000 to $50,000 is the amount here. Now we're down to 99. And let me edit that. What's available at 30,000? 5,000 to 30,000. So now you're down to 79. So really, you can get very, very granular and end up with a very small, useful, concentrated list of systems that suit your needs and your tolerance for risk and reward and your style of trading, whatever it might be. So let's go ahead and clear those. Go back to OK. And let me show you what to do. Now here are, back to the table here, let's look at any one of these systems. I have these here that are blue stars, that means they're active, and I'll show you where to see that. And the gold stars are ones that I've clicked on. You can click on any one of them and make it a favorite and turns it into a gold star. So for example, you click on that if you wanted to, and that would make it a favorite. Now, since we've done that, I haven't looked at this one in a long time, but let's click on it. And here's how you drill down and look at the performance. So that has a longer term track record. And let me explain this graph to you. In fact, before we do that, why don't I do this instead? Because this one has so much data here, it'd take more time to get through. Let's look at this one, Samurai Copper. I like that name anyway. So you see Any of the systems that end up on your filtered list, you can just click on the system and it pulls up what we call a performance sheet or a tear sheet. Okay, and let's start looking from the top down. You'll see the name of the developer. These are professional system developers. They write code and build these systems. This is trading copper futures. If you don't know anything about copper, it doesn't matter. This is a swing trading system. It can be short or long for periods of, perhaps several days. It's $75 a month that comes directly out of your account. And I'll point out too that all of the performance is net of all of the monthly cost and commission. So everything you see on the performance, all the percentages and all the dollar figures are net. Remember that, net performance, okay? And you can look at all the history or just last month or a year or whatever it might be. So you can filter for any period of time and you'll see the performance graph. So this one's been doing well. And you'll notice suggested capital here, 50,000. So all the numbers, by the way, are based off of that number, 50,000, the suggested capital. If you were using just that bare minimum required capital, then all the numbers here would be dramatically inflated. The leverage would be inflated. So your worst drawdown would be, what is this? So you're like 8 times greater. And of course, your gains would be 8 times greater because you're using less capital. So nonetheless, we always use suggested capital, and that's where all the numbers are based off of. So all the percentages and everything are based off the suggested capital number. And we'll look down here, and you can look at your total P&L. You can look at your profit factor. Any of these here icons, you click and get an explanation. So for example, the best session was 3,738. The worst session was 2,263. Winning session average here, losing session average. It gives you all the data historically, percentage of time with open position. So it has a position about 70% of the time. And it's a swing trading system, as we saw, and so on. So you can look at all this data here. And now this is an important table. Let's look at this. So white background, anything with a white background means this is back-tested or hypothetical data, and that already includes all slippage and trading cost. So it's a very, very conservative back test. And we find that once it gets trading with real money, the back testing data and the real data track each other very, very close. The correlation is very high. I don't know exactly, depending on the system, but well, close to 100%. So with that said, back January 2017, you can see all the back tested data is when it started. Now you'll see this kind of tan color here. That means beginning on January of 2019, the system was then placed on the AV Systems platform, and it was then being tracked by AV Systems platform and made available to clients. And then you can see here, April, it turned green, and that's live trading. So people started trading this with real live money with their real live trading accounts. So since April, this is all live real money trading. You can see it's had a great month and year there in 2019. And you can see here in 2020, year to date, with the year almost over, doing very well again. Now let's point out one thing. We briefly looked at it in the presentation. Look at March. The stock market dropped like a rock, and yet here's a trading system. And let's look at that trading here in March. You'll notice the day-by-day P&L, and on the first day, that license cost is deducted from your account. And then the machine, the algo, the robot starts trading for you. So you're winning, you're losing, win, 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 loss, 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 win, win, win. So you're going to have winners, you're going to have losers. You have to expect volatility. If you can't handle volatility, then, trading at all shouldn't be something you're doing. But you can see the accumulated P&L here, and by the end of the month, it had a great, great performance. Now, of course, past performance does not guarantee future results, but the main thing I want to point out is how these systems can perform when traditional assets do not. So if, your traditional stock indices, no matter if it's a small cap, mid cap, large cap, whatever, Dow, Russell, you name it, if they're not performing well, any number of these systems can be doing something completely different. Now, here's a trade log. You can go back in history. Everything is completely transparent. You'll notice all the trades that have occurred listed here. You can see all the data in Excel available if you want to download it, play with that data. It tells you here by the end of the day, 0, flat, or you can look at it by session. So whenever it has a position here, you'll see here the session trading. So you can see everything available. I won't go too much deeper into that. Now, if you wanted to, for example, look at any other particular system, of course, you could go back and filter, whatever it might be. Now, here's the key is if you find a system that you like, I'm just going to click on another random system here. It's pulling up the data. This one's a little bit more choppy. Reached an equity high here and had a drawdown. So it's on a drawdown right now, but it doesn't matter. We don't really care right now. I just want to show you how to turn a system and activate it. So what you would do is, see this padlock? You click this padlock, you buy the license. Let's show you how to do that. 1 unit means 1 contract. This particular system's $100 a month, and you would subscribe to it. And you click accept, and then you need to activate it. Now, I'm not sure I even have money in this demo account, so let's see what happens. So it'll ask you if you want to immediately activate or activate on the next session. So usually you can do whatever you like, but immediate activation. And if you wanted to do 2 contracts or 3 or whatever, that's how you would do it. And then of course it increases the margin requirement of course correspondingly. So you'd accept this. Now let's see here if I activate, if it allows me to. I don't know. Now if it doesn't, that's okay, because that's pointing out that even if you have an account, you can't just randomly start activating 100 different systems. It won't let you. There's, of course, all the risk controls in place. Okay, so it allowed me to activate that mini DAO. And then this is what happens here. It takes you to My Systems, and it will show you it's now active. Here it is. It's the one we just chose. It's currently active. Has no positions yet. Of course, we just activated it. But now, in fact, let me close this and show you how to get to the My Systems. It's simply right here. Now you can see I have a few other systems that are active. Here's a E-mini S&P. Here's a gold. Here's an E-mini NASDAQ. And here's the one we just did. And then here's a soybean contract, a system trading soybeans. You can see today this is a short 1 contract. It tells you from 12.23 and a half. Currently it's negative, basically losing today so far, $287.50. And actually we're closed today. So that's going to have a loss for the day, and that's fine. You get to see that. The accumulated P&L, though, it's doing well, $1,900. And you can see accumulated here. This one is $1,700. This one's $175 since going live and activating these. And you can see the accumulated P&L on all these systems together. And then today's P&L is a loss there. So that's what it would look like if you went to monitor all of your systems. Now, the next question is, what do you do to, if it's now active, how do you turn it off? Simple. You would just go to Stop Strategy, and it can instruct you if you want to get out on the market or just not take the next entry. And then you would click Accept the disclaimer and then deactivate. So that's it. Basically, you just activate it, walk away, and once you're done, you want to change your mind, change the system, for whatever reason, you deactivate it just by clicking there and stopping the strategy. It's that easy, folks. It's It's really that simple. And I love the fact that everything is transparent. You get to see the last trade here. It was a short position at 36. The numbers, it gives you all the details, the orders that were used, the market orders, the limit orders. This is all happening for you. You've not done anything. You don't ever have to place an order or do anything. The machines, the algo, the robot, whatever you want to call it, does everything for you. Everything is transparent, so you can go back and look at all the outstanding orders. You see on soybeans, there's a stop in place here at a price of 13.03, 54 cents away from the market. So it's telling you, tells you everything that's happening. Now here's the top 10. This is a fun page to look at if you want some ideas on where to start. So here's the current session. You see it's flashing there in yellow. That means it's live trading, of course. Today, the best system so far today is a silver trading system, and it's short from 26.46. And then you've got gold, euro currency, E-mini S&P, the Russell, a Nikkei, British pound, treasury bonds, wheat. So you have really a nice array, a diversified array of systems here in different markets, all doing different things. These are short, this is short, long, long, short, long, long. Remember, the computer has no bias, whether it's short or long, it could care less. And it tells you, for example, here, this gold system, it's short at 1868.40. It has a buy order in place at 1821.60, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, you can go down and look at the previous session. What was the best performer yesterday? You'll see all these best performers yesterday, last month, what your best performers are, and so forth. So that's a fun page to go to. So there you have it. That's an overview. We could get a little bit deeper, but really it's that simple. You have a menu of systems, in this case about 1900 available. You can filter and sort for any systems based on any criteria that you find suitable. And once you end up with a handful of systems or even just one, you can then activate it and walk away. We've had clients activate systems and not do anything for more than years. They activate it and walk away. And other people get more active where they activate a system and maybe a week later they deactivate it for whatever reason. And so it just depends on you and how you want to do it. So with that said, let me switch gears. We're getting a lot of questions. Well, the one question we always get, and I see about a bunch of them here on the same topic. This is our technology that we utilize, and we are the brokerage firm. So to use this, you would open a brokerage account with us at AltaVest. So it does not work with other brokerage firms. We are the brokerage firm. But yeah, I want to make that clear. People always ask about that. Okay. And I am going to get into the options now. We're going to look at some options technology. But keep your comments coming. I do see them. So AV Systems, you saw that it's powerful and it can be a lot of fun. It's a very, very powerful, serious tool, but it's also a lot of fun. Kind of threw that in there, kind of drinking from a fire hose. There's a lot of information there, but I think generally speaking, on the surface, it's very simple. And now you're saying, I love it, I want to do it, but I'm a little skeptical because I don't trade futures. Doesn't matter. Remember, the algos do all the trading. So you're not reading charts, you're not analyzing crop reports. I mean, who cares? The algos are doing the trading for you. So that's what you need to focus on, is really choosing the systems that suit you and your tolerance for risk. That's the main thing. So precious metals, energies, stock indices, currencies. And remember, futures volume first half of this year, almost 22 billion contracts, up by about a third. Enormous amount of activity. This is where you want to be, folks. Deep liquidity, transparency, leverage, alternative assets, easily long or short, cost effective. So with that said, we're going to jump into options. Here's a secret options trading solution we think you need to know about: automated options technology, strategies for up and down and even sideways markets. We're going to look at trading stock index futures options. So we're going to remove the guesswork, something you can do in just a minute a day. And why do we like the index? It's convenient. First of all, we're going to follow just one or two indexes, not thousands of securities. An index is always less volatile than an individual stock. And then we have a secret proprietary strategy. It's not available for use in stock options. And the one market we're going to focus on is the ES. Remember that symbol, the E-mini S&P 500, liquid, efficient, cost-effective, average daily volume. This is, I couldn't get the latest for the second half, of course, so we're not quite done, but 781,000 average daily volume. So you're in the right spot, folks. Now, with that said, insurance companies, you know how they make money. You pay premiums to them, and they calculate the risk. So they sell and manage time, but they always insure themselves, and they are consistent, and they're patient, and they look at math, probabilities, and long-term odds, statistics, actuarials, expected returns. That's what they look at, just like a casino does. Every game in a casino has an outcome biased in favor of the casino, or else they wouldn't do it. You spin that roulette wheel, bet on the green zero, and you do that 38 times, you're going to lose 200 bucks. That's what the statistics tell you. 526 on average. House edge, that's the house edge. Your losses become the house's edge. And they'll keep doing this. They want you there forever because over time they're going to make that money off of you, even though they at times pay you off. So looking at a baseball analogy, how about higher probability outcomes with trading? Referring to that as a base hit, not a grand slam. So what about collecting premiums by selling options? You would need to be consistent and patient. You know that you have to manage your losers. You got to manage reward too. Don't get greedy. You need the proper tools. And remember, you're not swinging for the fence on any one trade. So there are strategies that are non-directional, bullish and bearish. And we're going to look at some higher probability approaches. We're going to look at credit spreads where you collect premiums, and these are always covered or insured. Predetermined risk and reward, and might be non-directional as well. And the kind of trade we're going to look at, and if that chart there kind of spooks you, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you what it means. All of our trades have a margin of error when we're talking about these types of credit spreads we're looking at. And we're going to show you, first of all, before we get into the demo, I want to clear up one thing. If you know the Greeks, great. This is super fast. And if you don't know them, it's super easy. The only two we need to know right now for our purposes are delta and theta. So delta is the approximate probability of expiring in the money. So here's an option that has a delta of 0.25. It means there's a 25% chance of expiring in the money. But conversely, 75% chance of expiring worthless. Okay, so delta is always moving with price and time, and it is not the probability of a winning trade. So keep that in mind. Then now there's theta. Options are a wasting asset, meaning they have a limited lifespan. So if we refer to time in options parlance, we call it theta. It's a negative number equaling 1 day of time decay. So as the options lifespan starts decreasing, let's take a look here at an example. Option premium might be 10, theta is negative 0.05, and then the next day the premium would drop, in this case, to 9.95, and the next day after that, 9.90. So the premium's always going to decline with theta decay because time is running out. Assuming, of course, this is assuming that a market's not moving. This is just for demonstration. So this is what it looks like. Theta decay, the value starts to drop and drop and drop as you approach time zero. Here's an example of selling a call spread. Here's the call spread here. The 35.30 call is the red line. You sell it, you collect 4.5 points. Then you buy the 35.50 call. You pay 2.25 for that. So the net premium you collect is $112.50. So you collect that net premium because you sold that spread. You have to include your commissions, of course, too. But you think, well, how do I sell it if I don't own it or whatever? Well, you just place the order to sell. That's all you do. You can just as easily buy and sell with futures and futures options. There's no uh, weird margin requirements or anything like that. But anyway, now here's the same thing with a put spread. Selling the 29.90 put, you collect 3 points, and same time you buy the 29.70. So the net premium you collect is $100. Simple example, simple spreads. These are covered. They're not naked, and they're always maximum risk is capped. So these are, like I said, these poor animals here are naked, but no naked options for us. You don't want to trade naked options. That means if you're doing naked options, at some point it's going to not work in a big way. It's just don't do it. And here's a big benefit if you're trading covered options. No margin calls and your risk is not unlimited. There's risk, but it's not unlimited. But here's really the big advantage. No margin calls. You're not forced out of your positions. So here's an iron condor. It's a combination of the put and the call spread that we just looked at. And here's what it looks like on a graph. You sell an out of the money call spread and put spread, collect the premium on both sides, and you look for the underlying market to sort of stay in this range. You have a large margin of error there. Now here's a secret strategy. It's a dragonfly, and you're thinking, you're scratching your head, I've never heard of it. Well, yeah, it's ours. We created this name, and this is what we've done over the years here. It's 6 legs on an option spread, and it's a variation on a condor. Here's what it looks like. Let me break it down. First of all, let's look at the calls. Let's start up here. Let's selling 4 37.80 calls, buy 3 of these further out, and 1 closer to the money call. You'll notice the one you buy in this case is 50 points closer to the money. So this is acting a bit like of additional insurance in some ways, because you own this option here that's much closer to the money compared to the 4 that you sold. Now, same thing with the puts. Selling 4, you buy 3 further out, and then 1 closer to the money. So same structure on the upside and downside, or I should say above and below the market. Now we're going to show you some examples of really what that means, but this changes the whole dynamic, this long call and long put, so that really it behaves completely differently compared to other short option strategies. Another variation, and there's a bunch of them, but we have limited time. You could just do half of a dragonfly. So here's just the call side of a dragonfly, or you could do a dragonfly put. But with that said, let's jump into Theta Trader. So how do you create all these trades? Well, you don't need to. The computer does it for you. We have a proprietary algo that will pre-build those option spreads for you. Simple and effective trade selection. So here's the question Jackie Chan is asking. How would you even know where to, what to buy, sell, what strategy, what's the price, how to know when to buy and sell, how do you manage the risk and profits? It's Theta Trader. That's your answer. Pre-built credit and debit spreads. The proprietary algo creates what we call Theta trades, the same sophisticated strategies that really a lot of professionals are using for bull, bear, and sideways markets. Then we have something called the RTI, the Risk Thermal Indicator, and that's a color-coded automated risk and profit management. And the key word is automated. So you don't have to screen watch. The algorithm will close out the trades for you. So we're going to jump into a demo. All right, I'm getting a bunch of other questions. Yeah, thanks. Keep the questions and comments coming, good, bad, or otherwise. I can take it, folks. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm going to get into IRAs. I'm going to get into account balances, expiration times, adding extra puts. All that's very good, and we're going to jump into it right now. So let me switch pages here. Usually the demo really answers, well, let me close the other one out first. Answers everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Let me expand this just a little bit so you get a more magnified view. So this is the dashboard for Theta Trader. And pretty simple looking page, and that's by design. You'll see just a few different sections. The Theta trades up here, your open sold positions, any open bought positions. Here's your account info. So this is pulling directly from your AltaVest account. This is just a demo account, mind you. And then, of course, your price quotes. I think the best thing to do is start at the top, and we're going to look at, you'll see there are bullish pre-populated trades. All the strategies are pre-built, bearish, and neutral or non-directional. And we're looking at the ES, the NQ, that's the NASDAQ mini, and the Russell mini. And for the most part, we'll just focus on the ES right now, but we trade and focus on these indexes here for these particular strategies. And there's a good reason why, and I'll show you in just a moment. And we did look at the condor, and I will go ahead and drill down, and now you'll see here, the algorithm has pre-built all these condors anywhere from 16 to 60 days till expiration. And it's chosen the strikes and the value and everything for you. And it lists here your potential profit at expiration for every trade. And this is your targeted annualized return at expiration. I should point out that we always want to get out of our trade before expiration. Okay, so this number here, you cannot expect realistically to generate this type of annualized return. This is here just to compare one trade or one condor to another. That's really why this number is there. Now, with that said, let's drill down on this February week 3 condor. Has 60 days till expiration. Now, here are all the details. And before we even look at this, I want to look at the graph. I like to do this. So here's what it looks like. Selling this call spread and put spread, and here's where we currently are trading. So you can see this large margin of error here. You could look at just the calls and just the puts here, but let's look at the whole condor. Now along the top, you'll see it has 60 days till expiration. Here's your expiration date. Settlement price, so the spread trading at 2.5, the premium, your put risk, call risk, commission. Here's the capital, cash required, and profit potential, targeted return on cash, and your targeted annualized return. Now I want to point out something. To place this trade, the maximum risk, if the market should go to zero, the maximum risk, so if the market went like this and just went to zero, the most you could lose would be essentially $1,000 because of the way the trade is structured. That's your maximum risk. So what they do, what we've designed it and the algorithm does, is it uses that maximum risk as your margin requirement. So that's why we have no margin calls. So you take the maximum risk and you subtract the premium that you received, and that becomes your cash required. So in this case, $896. Now, here's the question we get. Why would you put up $896 and at the same time only have potential of 104 as maximum potential? Well, here's the reason. We talked about delta. Look at the put. You're selling the 3120 put. Delta is 9.79. So that means there's over a 90% probability that this put is going to expire out of the money. And look at the call, 6.92. So 93% probability that the calls that you sell will expire out of the money. So it doesn't mean it's a probability of a winning trade, but just pointing out these are the higher probability outcomes that we're looking for. Lots of base hits, even bunts. And you'll see it pre-populates here to a sell. Always defaults to a quantity of 1. If you can see, I changed the quantity. It changes your cash required and your profit potential and all that. And we'll go ahead and place this order. And you can see there it is. The demo order, of course, automatically fills it for you. Now, I want to show you the Dragonfly, and the best way to do that is with a trade simulation. You'll see here we have a trade simulator. I've already loaded just a couple here, and we're going to look at this real quickly. Let me scrunch this down so you can see. So we're going to look at an iron condor placed on January 2nd of this year. And we'll use these tools here. You can go day by day. You can see each trading day, and as each trading day goes along, you'll see the results here. And you'll see this green RTI means good, do nothing. That's the risk thermal indicator. Okay, you should be able to see all that, yep. Or you can play it. Okay, so at this point, the trade's still a little bit negative, but the RTI is good. Green means good, do nothing. Now it turns yellow. Slightly elevated risk, but still, don't do anything. No need to make any change. Okay, now it goes to green again. Now it turns orange. That means really basically a very, very elevated risk. And then look at this, it turns red, and red is your exit point. Red says get out, too much risk, and take your loss and move on. Now I want to point out something, and I'll show you how to do it, but this is, pay attention here on this one. This can be automated, and I'll show you how to do it so that when it turns red, any trade, when it turns red, Theta Trader will automatically close out that position for you. And conversely, if it turns profitable and turns blue, Theta Trader will automatically close that position out for you as well. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Let's take a look here. And so that is the condor. So remember, that was a condor we placed on January 2. Now, if we did a dragonfly on January 2, what would happen? So January 2, instead of placing a condor, you did a dragonfly. So this trade is, back, the P&L is sometimes red, sometimes green, but meanwhile the RTI is all green, so don't do anything. Okay. Now it turns yellow, slightly elevated risk, but do nothing. It goes back to green. And now you notice it's getting closer to the short calls here, but you are long this one call here. So the 34.30 call is 40 points closer to the money compared to the ones that you sold. So it's really acting as a bit of insurance, and it's gaining in value much more rapidly, and theta decay will not impact it as rapidly either. And now look at this. This is blue, target profit. That means take profits and go on with your life. So you can automate this so that if it turns blue, you take profits automatically. And look at the difference here. So this is on February 21st. And we're looking at the condor on February 21st. It was still negative. It had not matured enough to even become profitable yet. Okay, so that is a real big key difference between a condor and a dragonfly. In these certain circumstances like this, the dragonfly call and put that you are long, that acts as some additional protection and gives you these opportunities to actually take what might have been a losing trade and turn it into a winning trade. And I want to point out another condor here. This is from earlier this month or this year. Look at that. It turns orange, but don't do anything yet. It just means elevated risk. Okay, it turns blue and take your profit with 7 days remaining till expiration. So that's all good and well. And let's compare that to the dragonfly on the same day, the Theta Trade dragonfly compared to the Theta Trade condor. Look at this. With 34 days till expiration, it turns blue and takes profits. But remember, on the condor, you had to wait and hang in that trade for almost another month before it became profitable enough and matured enough to take profits. In fact, with 34 days left here, you were sitting on a nice little a little gain, but not enough for the algo to say take profits. So that's why we love the dragonfly. It's not to say we don't do condors, but the dragonfly we absolutely love using. It's our proprietary strategy. And then here is how, let me just open that here. Here is how you would automate everything. You go to your settings and you click activate your risk manager and activate your profit directive. It's just that simple, and then you would save your settings. So that's how you automate the risk thermal indicator. And if you wanted a little bit of insight, for example, on how that works, just go to the help file and it describes the RTI here and all the color coding and how it works. I'm not going to spend time going through it all. I just want you to know it's here. And we also have video tutorials on Theta Trader available here, as well as educational series if you want further insight on futures options. But really an option is an option. If you know what a stock option is, you know what a futures option is. It all works the same way. And then we have proprietary research. We do our daily research here called TradeScope. It's our daily analysis, primarily on the stock indices and also on the daily trading summary. It's a narrative of all the trading activity that's occurred in Europe and Asia and what to look for moving ahead. And you can, any of the trading activity, we did some dragonflies the other day and economic calendar. So that's all available as a user of Theta Trader. Now let's go back to, well, here, I'll go back to the dashboard here. And here's what you would do if you want to look at all your open positions. You can, first of all, see them right on the home page at a glance. And of course, you can also buy options. We don't just sell options. But here's the full page of open positions. Okay, so you can see there are 8 short positions, 1 long position. It gives you all the details for any one of the trades here. You could just click on any one of them and get all the details from the first day of the trade. You just scroll down and you'll see here this trade was placed on the 3rd, December 3rd. It's a dragonfly. It's turning nicely profitable here. And this is essentially what the market has done since we placed that trade. And the RTI on that is green, do nothing. And it makes sense that this long position here has an RTI of orange, more elevated risk, because anytime you buy options, that's a lower probability outcome. It doesn't mean you can't do it sometimes, because of course you have the opportunity to make more money on it, but it's also a lower probability potential to make money. Now, if you want to look at your closed positions, that's just as easy. It tells you here there are 20 on the page, 16 winners, 4 losers, your short positions, your long positions, your total P&L, and you can go back and look at all your, this is just a demo account, so I just kind of use it for demo purposes. I'm not really doing, I wouldn't make much of the results one way or another. I'm just kind of pointing out how easy it is to see everything and work with the actual complex trading of these options, but we can make it very, very approachable. And then here's the history example of this one trade here. On October 7 is when we placed this particular dragonfly. And then you'll see the RTI day by day is green. And look, it turns blue with 27 days left. Matured enough, took profits. All right. And with that said, I want to jump back and show you really, I think, is the absolute, well, I'm going to show you the best feature of all, but also want to point out too, there are, just to review, if you want to buy, simply call spreads or outright long positions, calls, or just buy call spreads or sell call spreads, that's easily done. But by and large, or here's the half dragonflies we talked about. Okay, and there's also something called a bull hedge that we call, it's essentially just a synthetic position. If you're not familiar with that, it doesn't matter, but it's real simple. But you're selling an out-of-the-money put spread, collecting that premium, and you use that money to buy an out-of-the-money call spread. So if the market starts moving higher, then of course it's going to do well. And you can usually do this for zero cost, essentially. You can usually collect enough to use to buy the spread that you're buying and pay for it all, or very close. So it usually doesn't cost you anything, at least the way we like to structure it. Doesn't mean there's not risk. It just means you can put that position on with not a whole lot of cost. And of course, you have the non-directional strategies, and that's available, of course, on the NASDAQ and the Russell. And we'll occasionally do those as well. The Russell's really gone ballistic this last month. But all right, so with that said, enough of that. There's lots of questions coming in, and I'm going to get to all of those in just a second here. Yes, there is a recording, and yes, you could modify the positions. You could add extra puts and calls and whatnot. Absolutely. But I don't think you really should. I think that kind of defeats the purpose. For example, here's looking at a dragonfly. You could change the strikes, move them up or down, and it will tell you when you place the order if there's a problem, if you make a mistake, your put that you chose is too high or too low compared to the call or whatever. But yes, you can change those strikes. And yeah, just to clarify, we are trading options on futures with Theta Trader. These are options trades only on these futures indices. We are not trading individual stock options. We can't trade individual stock options, and in fact, it won't work, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Yes, it's being recorded. And someone's asking about refreshing the filters. I'm not sure what that means, but someone said they're not getting audio. But getting audio from, there's quite a few people here, so I'm getting audio. Yeah, so anyway, yes, we'll get to the type of account. We can do IRAs, absolutely, count balances, so on and so forth. And we haven't done micro futures yet. We're just doing the E-minis. That's where all the volume is. And on the red RTI, we typically just close the position out, although on occasion we will do some advanced strategies like a excuse me, like a roll of some kind, but we'll show you that in just a second. But yeah, very good questions. Keep them coming, but I don't want to take us off track too much. So let me switch gears real quick, and I want to show everyone the best feature of all. And when I say 1 minute trading, I'm not exaggerating. And I'll show you here. Okay, I know it's a lot of information so far, but hopefully we're not stuffing our faces like Lucy and Ethel with an overload of goodness. Okay. Yes, we can make it easier. 1 minute alerts. So we have trade alerts with Theta Trader. Our technology is built out so that you can receive one touch options trades. You receive the alert on your smart device, and all you simply do is touch accept or reject, and our technology handles the rest for you. No more of that nonsense with alerts that you receive with an email and you have to log into your platform. Oh, hold on 1 second, folks. There's an ambulance here. Hold on. Hope it doesn't bug you too much. Okay. Yeah, there's a hospital down the road. Anyway, so these alerts are live and they're integrated with your trading account. So you receive a trade alert and you simply touch accept and the order is placed for you. And then you saw how Theta Trader and the RTI can automatically track and then manage that option position for you if that's what you want. So here's what it looks like. You receive that text message. It's a link. You touch the link. get a graph, you get an explanation. Here's a week 3 condor. Want to point out, gives you the net premium collected, the cash required, and look at the size, selling 10. It's already pre-sized for your account. It's automatically pre-sized with the correct quantity for your account. And then that's it. There's nothing to see, just a demo, but here, one more time and I'll be quiet. Oh, and I do see a question about Canada, and unfortunately, we cannot work with Canadian clients. I wish we could, but regulators don't allow us unless you have a legal US residence. Okay, folks, that is good stuff. People absolutely love those trade alerts, and you'll get alerts on, dragonflies, on half dragonflies, on, um, bear hedges, bull hedges, outright call, put spreads, you name it, and you'll get alerts on whatever, all the above. And people absolutely live by those things because, quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to sit in front of a screen, and I don't blame them. They've got a life to live. And no joke, we get the cliche, I'm on the golf course. I got the alert. I touched it. Thanks. I'm flying a plane right now. I got your alert and responded. We kind of laugh at that kind of stuff. So just remember when you're flying, the pilot might be responding to one of our trade alerts, and that happens a lot actually. Um, so anyway, with that said, but the good news is they don't really have to take their mind off of what they're doing too much because we make it so easy. So here's the special offer for the VIP membership. That's what we call it. Here's our VIP membership offer. You get AV Systems. You saw the automated futures trading solution. 20 years of development, dozens of professional system developers, thousands of system on there, basically bots. There's about 1,900 of them right now. US global markets across multiple sectors. You can just use that switch to turn any system off or on. It really is that easy. Everything is transparent. All the trading, it's not hidden from you. You get to see all the orders, where they're placed, where they are sitting. Full control. You use the automation of the risk and profit. The machine, the algos do it all for you. Intraday or swing trading, you can review all that system performance, download the history, all those markets, all those sectors. And what would it cost? Well, it would cost a fortune to develop something like that. And how do we know? Because we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars working with developers on FX and futures trading systems. It's costly and it's time consuming. In fact, we might have spent more than that, quite frankly, now that I think about it. We've worked with professional developers. We had a staff actually working with these guys, and let's put it this way, they don't work for free. So one programmer to build one algo for one market, if you were to try to do this on your own, just one system, over $10,000. That's what we've calculated. And remember, you have 1,900 systems to look through on the AV Systems platform. Remember, you get the A-list research. Those are, well, not remember, I'm letting you know. I didn't mention it. We basically work with clients and we go through systems and allocate those systems appropriately and accordingly, depending on your risk tolerance and so forth. You want to know if what we're looking at is the same thing that you're looking at. So that proprietary research there, $2,952 value. So with your VIP membership, remember you get AV Systems and the A-list, a value of over $13,700. And you also get, of course, Theta Trader. We just saw the demo there with the algo-driven options trading. So that Theta Trader software, we use that proprietary algo to pre-build those spreads, simple and effective trade selection. In fact, one of the things that's even people love is how easy it is to track the trades. This is what it looks like when you're tracking a trade with Theta Trader, and here's what it looks like on a brokerage statement. So it's a mess. It's been like that for 30 years. That's part of the reason for having Theta Trader. And the RTI automatically, look at the green highlight, that's important, automatically will exit the trades. That's what you call autopilot, non-emotion. You don't have to screen watch. You set the RTI to close out those trades on red or blue, and that's it. We handle the rest, or I should say the technology. So activate the risk manager, automated profit directive. And then you saw the simulator. You can back test. We ran through a couple examples, but you can do that for at least 10 years back. Any strategy, the Condor, the Dragonfly, any of these option strategies you want to compare, that's a lot of fun. Just use those tools at the bottom to fast forward or go back in time. So you have Theta Trades, the RTI, and the simulator, that software value of over $3,500. And then the trade alerts. This is huge. This is a big deal. These alerts are live and they're integrated with your account. I can't stress that enough. So all you do is touch accept or reject, and the technology does the rest for you. And then, of course, you can have the RTI pick up the rest for you, where it automatically manages everything. That alert there, $4,464 value on that software. So you have Theta Trader and the trade alerts valued over $8,000. So just to summarize the VIP membership: AV System software, Theta Trader software, the trade alerts, a value of over $21,800. Now here's the best part. I think it's the best part, and most people agree. You have a private coach. So as part of your membership, we'll work with you one-on-one, Series 3 licensed experienced trader. These are not chatbots. These are not just phone clerks people. These are not people, fresh off a TikTok account and that think they know everything. These are real people with real experience, 1-hour screen sharing sessions. You'll look at AV Systems, some of the topics there, Theta Trader, some of those topics there, or whatever it is that you would like. Customize that experience for you. Co-pilot, you get a co-pilot to work with you, discuss your trade strategy, review your history. I mean, that's really priceless. $7,500 at least. In fact, I know a lot of people are paying for education of, $5,000 to learn how to trade an option, or $25,000 for the whole course of some kind, and so on. But what we're saying is that's fine. You need to know things, but you don't have to pay extra for those things. We include that with your VIP membership. So the AV Systems, the Theta Trader, the trade alerts, and the trading coach, a value of over $29,000. And yeah, kind of that like infomercial thing here, right? But there's more, right? The bonus. Let's remember, you get the proprietary research, our trade scope and daily commentary. That's done in-house, and it's unique and specific to Theta Trader clients as well. $2,900 value. And then, of course, you have the online video tutorials. We mentioned that briefly, but I want you to know you're not just on your own. And if you don't want to talk to someone, sometimes you can just log right in and look at those video tutorials. So the VIP membership, just to summarize, we'll wrap this up. AV Systems, Theta Trader, trade alerts, the trading coach, the research, a value of over $32,000. So even at half price, I think it would be a fantastic deal, but that's not good enough because we think we can do better, and especially knowing that it's the one thing that I think could work for you, save you a lot of time. Think about canceling subscriptions, lower your time and your stress. So people have paid tens of thousands for algo systems and options trading software and trade alerts, and I'll say it again, I've said it before, I talk to people all the time and they are spending literally tens and thousands of dollars, and I've done the same. So this is no hyperbole, that's the real deal. So VIP offer, AV Systems and Theta Trader offered together. In the past, we'd offer this separately, and it would be, quite frankly, $2,000 or more each. And that's no joke. But here, it's a live webinar. We want to make this approachable as best we can with that VIP membership if you think it's appropriate for you. $19.97. and we're going to even knock that down 60% off. We'll call it a Christmas discount, although we've done this in the past. We don't always do it, but you act before Sunday night, $7.97. It's a one-time payment, and there is the link, cf.altivest.com/VIP. So cf.altivest.com/VIP. There's our phone number as well. Yes, we're real people. If we don't pick up right away, it means we're on the phone. Just leave a message. You can email us as well, info@altivest.com. I could have put that in there, but just use info@altivest.com. Now, 30-day guarantee. You have no excuse, folks. If you think this is at all something appropriate for you, then get yourself signed up and let's dig deeper. And for some reason, if something changes and you don't like it, you know what? It's not a fit, and that's fine. We'll refund you, and that's it. No harm done. So you have no excuse really, and no risk on that membership fee. And remember, FAQs. People have a lot of questions, and I love it. So here we go. Let's see if we can jump in with some of these FAQs. Okay. Stock options. No, we cannot trade stock options. We specialize on options on the E-mini stock indexes and basically any commodity option, but Theta Trader specializes on the markets there with the yellow highlighter. How about taxes? You want to be tax efficient? Well, yes, then you're trading the right market. Barron says you got to be trading these contracts. That's because you get basically a 10 percentage point effective tax rate when you're trading with us compared to trading stocks. And why is that? Well, because the gains, only 60%, 6% of those gains are taxed at the long-term rate, cap gains rate, which is always lower than your income rate. So here's what it looks like. You're trading individual stocks. You get 20% on 100 grand. You're going to get a return of 12.6% after you pay taxes, assuming you're in the highest bracket. And I know all of you are, right? Okay. And then if you're doing futures, look at that. Just because you're trading futures, meaning futures and futures options, 14.64% return, $2,000 tax savings compared to trading stocks. So yes, you want that tax efficiency working for you. And no more itemizing. You get a 1099. IRAs, people ask for qualified accounts, you'd have to check with us. There are some financial qualifications, but Forbes even points out self-directed IRAs. You can trade futures and futures options. You can diversify your traditional asset portfolio because these types of things that we talked about have a low correlation to stocks and bonds. Remember, we looked at that with the systems trading in particular, and the same thing with the options trading as well, especially if you're doing these other types of non-directional type of strategies. Now remember the E-mini S&P 500 market, it's huge. That's why we trade it. Read this, I'll let you read that, and I want you to think about that sentence real quick. So there you have it. The E-mini alone, just this one market, outtrades all ETFs around the globe by over 2.5 times in terms of average daily dollar volume. What about the SPY? You think, oh, everything's going on in the SPY. No, the E-mini S&P is 9.8 times bigger in average daily dollar volume. So if you didn't know it, now you know it. This is where you want to be. And that's why we're trading the E-mini S&P options. They're liquid, efficient, cost-effective. 5 additional reasons. Deep liquidity. I won't go into all the details and numbers. Largest market share. This is the key here, though. This is why you can't do it on stock options. If you try to trade a 6-legged spread like a dragonfly on a stock option, you can't do it. The strike prices are not available. But with the E-minis, there are densely packed strikes. That means there are strikes in every increment that you need. And there are 100 annual expirations. We've got all the granularity that you need to make these proprietary strategies happen. And here's another thing. Why bother just with the ES and the NASDAQ and the Russell? Well, we're just going to track 1 or 2 or 3 markets, not thousands. You don't need to do that. Margin use is efficient. You saw how efficient the margin use is compared to other markets. and there's a clear cost structure. Now, what am I talking about? And yeah, I'm getting a bunch of accounts. It's a lifetime, by the way. The 797 is lifetime, absolutely one-time payment. That's it. And let me just. Some people are saying they came in late. Yeah, I'm sorry we can't do Canada. I think I mentioned that. And you have to have a legal U.S. residence. So you may be a citizen from another country, but if you have a legal U.S. residence, that would work. You could have an account. Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure, someone asked about charging when we pay for every bot. I'm not sure what that means. But when you're talking about AV systems, the developer is that monthly fee goes to the developer of the system. That's how they get paid. That's how they earn their living. Developers are building these systems, are writing code, then that's their job, to create systems, and that's how they get paid when you subscribe to their system. And yes, you open an account with us once you become a member. We'll get you onboarded with Altivest and open your brokerage account. And yes, you can do IRAs, Roth IRAs, account sizes. You can have multiple accounts. People do, absolutely. And let's see here. There are other costs. Well, you pay the membership fee, and then after that, subsequent to that, if you're using AV systems, of course, there's the fee that you would pay the developer every month, and then the commissions for every trade on AV systems. And then if you're trading with Theta Trader, of course, there are commissions, and I'm going to show you that. We're right to that. So clear cost structure. ES options offer superior execution and a cost savings of $4 to $15 per contract. Tight bid offer spreads. Okay. No hidden costs. So let me show you more about this. Remember, these are not securities options. Everything you talk about with commissions and everything you know about, typically you're referring to stock options or stock trading and whatever. That doesn't apply to this universe. We're trading futures and futures options, completely different, separate category. They're not related at all. Separate exchanges, separate regulatory agencies. All these markets trade on the CME group, largest clearing firm in the world, or exchange, I should say, CME group, and they all trade electronically on Globex. That's their electronic exchange. So every order is treated the same, no matter how big or how small. And there's no payment for order flow nonsense like there is with stocks. And what am I talking about? I'm going to beat up Robinhood a little bit. They deserve it. I've been on their case for a few years. SEC charges Robinhood with misleading customers about how they make money. Article from CNBC this week. Here, why Robinhood gets fined $65 million. It's a cautionary tale for retail investors. Save a penny to lose a nickel. So yeah, it's not free, folks. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You probably know this, but if you're not paying for something, you are going to pay for it in a way that you can't see it. That's a great phrase. Here, CNBC. SEC charged Robinhood misleading customers. They found that Robinhood provided inferior trade pricing, cost customers $34 million. They had to pay a fine for that. Here's another article. One of their selling points was that trading commissions were free. But due in large part to their unusually high payment for order flow rates, Robinhood customer orders were executed at prices inferior to other broker prices. So what is that payment for order flow? When you place your order with them, they don't fill the order. That order is filled by a third-party market maker like Citadel. And Citadel pays Robinhood so that they can fill those orders for them. And why do they do that? Well, let's look. I'll show you. Robinhood received $180 million in payments in just one quarter. SEC found they provided inferior trade prices, costing customers $34 million, even after considering savings from not paying a commission. They make millions selling out their millennial customers to high-frequency traders. They sell the orders to the high-frequency trading meat grinder. These traders are not charities, and the only reason high-frequency traders would pay Robinhood tens to hundreds of millions of dollars is that they can exploit the retail customers. So here's why you should stay away from, quote, free digital trading platforms. I mean, this stuff is all over financial media, folks. It's not me just making this up. It says here, they funnel trading activity downstream. How you perform is largely irrelevant to their business model. All accounts of any size welcome. It says here, the experience created is one of gamification. It's fun, like being in a casino, pumped with oxygen to stimulate flow. So I don't know, I'm beating up on them too much, but I just want to make the point. Really, there's no such thing as a free lunch, guys. So if you're thinking, I want commission-free trading, you're paying more money for commission-free trading. You just don't know it. It says here, it's buried down in the guts of their workflow process where few people notice. And I want to point out too, see the yellow? This is all related to stock brokerages. It has nothing to do with the futures and futures option space, which is where we are. And I'll end on this here with this little bit on commission talk. Nothing of value is truly ever free, okay? I think we can all agree with that comment. So with that said, what are the commission rates? Our rates are very competitive. We're trading options on Theta Trader, 5.25, that's round turn, and that's all in. That's on the E-minis. So that means if you go to a site, like a big box site, and I even copied something in here, one of these big brokerage firms online, and they say, okay, well, we trade futures and options too, and we only charge 2.25. But no, that's per side. And then they don't even count the regulatory and exchange fees. And it ends up being higher than what we charge. So yeah, there are some firms that are going to be less, but we're not in a race to the bottom. And those are all just online only firms. We're not competing with them. So with that said, what is our performance? People want to know. Well, everyone's different. Everyone using Theta Trader makes different trades. So everyone's different. Remember, everything is net of all trading cost. All performance is net in Theta Trader and AV Systems. And what size of account should I use? We suggest $50,000 to $100,000. So if you want to trade multiple spreads in Theta Trader and have several systems going in AV Systems. And then if you want a free membership, we'll gladly rebate that $797 to you if you trade with 100,000. So open your account, fund it. We'll gladly rebate that to you. We get that happen a lot. And trading account types, all the above, your typical brokerage type of account, individual, joint, trust, corporate, LLC, you name it, we get them all. And if you're looking at an IRA or that type of qualified account, let us know. There are some financial requirements for that. Regulatory regulations say that not just anyone is allowed to have an IRA anymore. So in terms of trading futures, and here's to wrap it up why we like alternatives. They may improve diversification and lower portfolio risk, may help grow an investor's total return, improve the risk return profile. And then this is kind of fun. I just threw it in here before we wrap it up. Can you continue to rely on tech stocks for these big returns? Well, this is a fun chart. Look at this. That's the S&P 500. So I don't know. That's something's not quite in alignment there. So you've got a handful of charts making up more than half the market, and that's just getting bigger. It's just getting more and more out of balance. This is kind of fun too. Jim Rogers. It's good to be old. Young people have a very bleak future ahead of them. I had to laugh at that and put that in there. As you know, he made billions of dollars and trading and whatnot, but he's been cynical for a while now in the markets. But he thinks the next bear market will be the worst. I don't know if he's right or wrong, but you don't want to end up though like this bull, being long delusions, wishful thinking, and FOMO. So we like the low correlation that AV Systems offers and also the Theta Trader strategies. So that's why we like these a lot. We'd like to have a portfolio that looks more like number 3. We suggest something like that for you as well. Having a slice of pie in the alternative space, trading with a VIP membership. So remember, just to wrap it up, AV Systems, Theta Trader, and personal coaching. So you get automated futures trading and all the algo-driven option spreads wrapped up together with personal coaching. So we'd love to have you be on board with us. If you're serious about your success, we think we can help. And there's the last bit, and I've been talking for a long time, folks, so sorry about that, but a lot of information. and put the link, let's see here. Yeah, let's see here if I can put that link in there. Just one moment, everyone. Okay, so I think everyone should see that link for the VIP membership. And I'm seeing lots of questions I think we already responded to, but any other questions, folks? Let's go ahead and see if there's anything else I didn't get to. Oh, yep, getting some final comments here. European customers, it depends. We typically can't accept clients out of the EU, but the UK is okay. Australia, I know we have clients, UK, even parts of Asia, Japan, South Korea is good. And believe it or not, Jordan and Qatar in the Middle East are okay. So you can just check with us. Not Germany, I'm sorry. I would love it. We get it all the time. We get people in France, Germany. So people are asking, no, nothing can be connected to any other brokerage firm. We are the brokerage firm, and this is our technology. So um, if you like the technology, it's basically going to have to be used with us. It's not the worst thing in the world, right? To work with us. And someone's asking, yeah, the commissions on the options are 5.25 round turn, and then on the AV systems, um, it's different for every market. It's usually, I think it's like 750 maybe to $15 at most, depending on the market. But remember, everything is net. So all of the percentages that you see in both platforms are net of all commissions and all cost. Yeah, certainly. If you want more information on trading futures options, you can go look at the videos there. And yeah, the more training there, minimum investment. Well, we don't really have, well, I guess we do have a minimum, but it depends on what you want to do. I would say at a bare minimum, it would be difficult to do this with less than 25,000. And even then, you'd be limited probably, which is okay. I mean, but if you really want to do it right and have access to multiple strategies going at multiple times, sort of, working in combination and complementing each other, that's what we like the $100,000 number. Okay, let's see here. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up, folks. We're getting a lot of the similar questions, and I love it here. Love all the questions. So the VIP membership, just to clarify, the VIP membership is with AltaVest, and we are a brokerage firm, and we have the technology platforms that we just discussed. And you can have access to all the technology plus the coaching. That's the real differentiator. That's the difference. That's the distinction, really, between any other brokerage firm or any other service or any kind of online this or that or the other. We've got real people with real experience, and it's only $7.97. That's a one-time, lifetime membership. So now you have access to all the technology and the coaching and some guidance. So that's how it works. And hopefully that summarizes things. And if you want to reach out to me directly, you see my phone number there on the screen. And 949-236-6961. Or you can email directly Erik, E-R-I-K, at altavest.com. And the criteria for selecting options, well, the algorithm does that. That's what the computer does for us. So that's the real, I guess you could say, the secret sauce, working behind the curtain, is doing all the heavy lifting and making short work of trying to look through a option chain and figure out which trades to build and how to build them and so on and so forth. So here I'll put this in for everyone to see. There, so I put my email and phone number, and everyone can see that. Okay, I think that is good. A lot of good questions. Thanks, everyone. And let's have a Merry Christmas and a much happier New Year next year. I think we could all agree to that. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So thanks, everyone, for joining me.